It's in verse where I find the courage, and when I am heard, I'll be sure that my pride is earned. Picture Reese sitting in a scene where he didn't speak. Everybody looking at him like kid's a freak. Literally paralyzed by history, perpetuated in defeat, but didn't retreat. See, he turned his weakness to his Herculean words served to ensure his freedom, and the shackles that bound him converted in purpose. A purse down beneath him, observing the beacon. Picture me spitting this flow to the masses. Four out of thrown up, this glow up is drastic. We put our soul in this, but never sold for this. Trevor and Topher, no holding us captive. Devil's been known to control us with tactics, motives exposing and focus the faction. We put our soul in this, but never sold for this. Trevor and Topher, you know it's a classic.
When I can't find the words to say what I feel, what I discern. When the devil tries to persuade me, God will work wonders. When I can't find the words to say what I feel, what I discern. When the devil tries to persuade me, God will work wonders.
Yeah. It's gonna be legendary right here, man.
Let's get it.
Word. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. I'm just here to bring the facts. I'm not worried about your feelings. It's the way that y'all react. It goes way beyond the killings. Y'all can focus on the bad while I keep being the realest. Got me looking at the stats, trying to find out what the deal is. Take a look at DOJ, murder rating, what they say, 52% on homicides, like we ain't taking vacay, they the sad. I don't get it, then you blame it on your payment. No, it's not, you just ignorant, you the problem, just admit it. Tired of us going through this cycle. Blaming others means you in denial. Situations getting dire, this is vital. So it's time for us to crack open the Bible and get back to the truth.
Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it. Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it.
Some of you ain't got a clue.
Heaven knows that I'm fighting. Heaven knows that I'm fighting.
Get them back to the truth.
A black liberal ain't nothing but a house Negro. I said it. I just said it. Drop the bomb. Boom. A black liberal ain't nothing but a house Negro.
See that nonsense stretching, venom in the comment sections. Off a limit, calling it progression. All you wanna do, follow deception, no direction. See the scope, it's TT and dope. Every argument will go past yours, and why they're feeding us like goats. See now, only gonna find a way truth into thy. Knowing about it, but taking two from the fight. Maybe you don't make it out doing right. They'll kill you and they will it suicide. Whistleblower, to some you're just a voter. Never wanted you to be a pistol holder. Every candidate been a joker. Oh no, sir.
Tired of us going through this cycle. Blaming others means you in denial. Situations getting dire, this is vital. So it's time for us to crack open the Bible and get back to the truth.
Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it. Yeah, I know you ain't gon' like it.
Some of you ain't got a clue.
Heaven knows that I'm fighting. Heaven knows that I'm fighting.
Get them back to the truth.
Y'all so pressed but master to swear up and down that Black Lives Matter and that they need, y'all need Master and Master need y'all. I don't need nothing from nobody. I got Jesus, baby.
There we go.
Welcome to Plausible Foolishness.
All right, well, stole my line.
Hey, I'm here in person. Of course I'm going to steal some lines.
We never agreed upon that.
Oh, doggone it.
Go.
Fine.
Just kidding. Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. I am one of the two kings of the Rube Empire, the Philosopher King, the Ivory Tower, the Mad Scientist Matt, and I've got a perspective on things.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that animation.
Super late.
It's so nice and
So
so
late.
pretty.
It's so late, and it's kind of big.
So what? Then you got me.
Yes.
On time. There we go.
The Kick-Ass Duke.
I am the kick-ass Duke. I am the right hand of the king. I'm less of the producer anymore. But I'm still the whipping boy.
That's absolutely true.
And guess what? Who's not here? Oh, nope. Say goodbye. And still going
If it will respond.
There you go.
All right. So it's Thursday,
It is Thursday.
October 7th, 2021. The world is on a rocket ship to hell.
Is it SpaceX? Or is it the
No, SpaceX is trying to get us out of hell.
follicle ship by Bezos?
Yeah, it's probably that one. Or something that NASA's cooking up. You know, who knows? Or maybe it is SpaceX. You know, a man can say one thing and do another, but
Yeah, just look at his solar company.
or his Bitcoin adoption.
Oh, or lack of.
Yeah, well, he did adopt it for like a month, and then drove prices sky high, and then
And
sold
Sold it all. Just got rid
for
of
a
it.
nice tidy profit.
Tidy? I would love to make that in like one lifetime. But anyways, speaking of making all that money, didn't you tell me about something going on?
Yes, this is out of the New York Times.
Wait, they actually publish stuff? They're
They
still
do,
around?
they do. Usually it's garbage. I
Oh.
mean, and you can take this as you see fit. The headline is A Global Deal Aimed at Ending Tax Havens Gains Momentum. Negotiators are coalescing around a 15% minimum tax rate, which could be announced at a Friday meeting.
Sorry.
Comes back, and then all hell breaks loose. This is out of Washington. The most sweeping overhaul of the international tax system in a century is poised to take a significant step forward this week, with nearly 140 countries, including Ireland and Estonia, expected to settle on a 15% global minimum tax rate. Hooray!
Why are you cheering? I would not cheer about this. This
Oh,
is
what?
not something to cheer
No,
about.
we love taxes. Taxes are great. Global 15% minimum. Your taxes can never get lower than 15%. Yay!
Yay, they get to take 15% and then tax you some more. Because that's just the federal tax. Then you have the state tax. Then you have the county tax. Then you have the city tax.
Now, it's unclear in my initial reading whether or not this is a corporate tax rate or what. The aim of this article is against corporate tax havens, right? So, darn these corporations wanting to save more of their money, you know, and more of their profits. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Definitely.
I'm thinking the same thing.
And we
You
have
know,
no state tax,
and we
nor do we have any county tax.
Yeah, but there's also, you know, this is a progressive tax rate, so
Yeah.
you know, the better you do, the more you get taxed. You know, because we like to incentivize poverty
Yes.
or decentivize
Success.
success and merit and whatnot.
Yeah.
Negotiators were on the brink of agreeing to the rate on Thursday ahead of a Friday meeting at the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, thank you, Greta, which has been coordinating the global tax talks. The tax rate has been the subject of months of intense negotiations. If enacted, it could help end a decades-long race to the bottom on corporate taxation that has allowed tax havens to flourish and has drained countries of revenue. Oh, boo-hoo.
drain
the poor
countries
countries.
of revenue.
The poor countries.
What? Wait, what? It's not their money.
Yeah, it's not their money.
So how is it revenue for them? It's not their money.
Because they don't think in terms of that. They don't think that
Governments-
taxation is theft. They think taxation is their due.
No. Okay. What are they doing to compensate for that tax? Oh, wasteful spending.
And the thing is, this is so socialist.
Yes.
This is so socialist because they're upset that some countries have a lower rate, like Ireland. Ireland has a 12.5% corporate tax rate, right? So they're upset with Ireland, and Ireland's like one of the last holders on because having a lower corporate tax rate means
They make a lot more money.
they make it does actually mean that, and businesses flock to them, and jobs go up.
What?
What? Oh my gosh!
No.
And so the other countries are like, man, Ireland's getting all the jobs because they put lower taxes. We need to make them charge more. This is envious garbage politics
Yeah.
that that you get with communistic thought and with Keynesian economics.
Marxist thoughts.
Yes, these freaking morons, man. Governments have for years been discussing such a tax overhaul. I'm sure that they have. The negotiations gained momentum this year under the Biden administration. I'm sure that they have.
I wonder why.
Which is also pursuing changes to its domestic corporate tax rate. Folks, we're not sticking with the minimum. We can do better than the minimum. We're America.
Yeah, let's do 30%. Let's do
drive
40%.
Let's drive all big businesses out and make it nearly impossible for little businesses to function.
Did you hear what AOC said last week?
What's that?
That she thinks that a 50% tax on corporations is not enough.
Of course she does. She's a moron.
Who is going to stay in this country at a 50%, where 50% of all the money you make goes out of your pocket immediately into the government, that's going to wastefully give it to people that does not help your business, and usually your competitors?
And not just that, or they're going to wage war with it, or they're going to, they're going to spend it on infrastructure bills that line their pockets. They're
They're going to spend it on solar because solar's so much better. Ooh, instead of nuclear, which is 1, cleaner, 2, cleaner, 3, much more productive, and 4, much, much better of an energy source.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they do nuclear? Because it has the nuclear in it.
Mm-hmm. Because of Chernobyl, from the 70s, run under what type of political system?
Oh, I think that was a workers' utopia. The communist system, I think, Marxist communism.
That's interesting. You'd think it would have been under an evil capitalist system.
No.
Wow. The good-hearted and good-natured communists got it wrong once. Who'd have thought? Anyway, the framework under consideration includes a global minimum tax of 15% that each country would adopt, and new rules that would force technology giants like Amazon and Facebook and other big global businesses to pay taxes in countries where their goods or services are sold, even if they have no physical presence there.
Okay.
Now, I'm no fan of Amazon and Facebook.
I was going to say, we are not fans of big tech, of anything like that, even though we do kind of.
Well, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. I am a fan of Amazon, in that it gets me anything that I want and can afford from my fingerprints for my fingerprints. I said, but that's not right.
From the tip of your fingers.
Fingertips. That's the word. From my fingertips to my front door in a matter of sometimes the same day. amazing. Like, there's a reason why it's a multi-billion-dollar company. They did an amazing thing.
Hey, Juniper
What
Smoke.
Yes, hey. Welcome to you're watching Plausible Foolishness, home of the Roomba Empire. Yeah, it's hard to compete with Amazon services. There's a reason why they're a multi-billion-dollar company. What I don't like about them is the way they bully people on their other products like Twitch, into groupthink.
Yep.
And I
They
don't
push
like
their
the way they throw their weight around, making it difficult for others to compete with them through legal matters. They should not be in bed with the government like that.
The other thing is they also push their political ideology through their policies. You can't say this, but you can say this.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You can't talk about this, but you can talk about this.
That's what I'm saying. They bully. People who think differently.
How dare you think differently?
Jeez, that sounds like a bad time. Yeah, big tech is
No, that seems about right.
Big tech is too much in our business, and too much trying to control everything, and they should cram it with walnuts.
Hey,
But
just a question for Juniper Smoke. Did you use that to use it on Biden? That is the phrase, right?
yeah. Let's go, Brandon.
God.
Let's go, Brandon.
Or is it more of a... I'm so glad I don't have my earpiece in.
I miss it.
I don't. I don't have my earpiece in, so I can't hear it.
I've grown to love it.
See,
I've grown to love it. But here's the thing. Taxation is theft. And
Yes.
theft is wrong no matter who's being stolen from. Unless it's the government. Actually. Yeah, because then you're stealing what they stole from you.
yeah.
So you're not doing...
How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you try to keep your money that they legitimately earned by taking it from you?
Yeah. And now, if there's evidence that Facebook and Amazon didn't legitimately earn some of their profits, he would say no, and I would say I'm starting to lean there very heavily.
I think there's a place for a government.
At best, very limited
Extremely.
government.
Like Constitution, but a little bit smaller. Because, one, most of the time, government just gets it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And makes things way more complicated than it ever needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
So the less government, the better. Now, it gets to the point where no government, you get other problems. So, usually with other countries that mean us harm. And that's where I think a government could be helpful.
And we can have that...
Yes, I am
Yeah.
libertarian. Constitutionalist libertarian.
yeah, we'll have that, argument as I'm more and more like...
He's more and more of
They're
an
not legit.
anarchist.
There's no legitimate means. Yeah, where's the sweet spot? That's a great question.
That is a very good question. And when
that's-
I
I don't
figure
think
that
there-
out, I'll let you know.
I don't think there is an answer to that.
No.
I think the problem that we are living in today, I don't think there's no taxation that is appropriate.
Yeah.
So how do they get money? I don't know. Maybe they actually provide something that we want to pay for.
Yeah.
But
The only thing I'd be willing to pay for is military for protection only, not for waging war.
And maybe it's just voluntary. We are collecting. This is our budget, and if you want to support your government, do so.
Like a lottery tax. That's exactly what a lottery is the poor man's tax.
Yeah, but that's I'm not for that either. That's just
Why?
theft through gambling.
It's voluntary.
Yeah, I mean,
They're voluntarily giving over their money because they want the chance to possibly get a lot of money, but the chances.
yeah, but then
I can't squeeze my fingers tight enough.
Nobody wealthy is going to do that. Not that the wealthy need to be taxed. Nobody needs to be taxed.
Yeah.
It's just we're taking more from the poor and less intelligent, you might say. I don't know. I wouldn't be for that either. But okay, back to this.
Back to that.
So after weeks of heated negotiations and pressure from the United States and France, Ireland, a main holdout to the deal, said it was ready to accept a 15% minimum tax rate after Prime Minister Michael Martin told the Irish cabinet Thursday that the rate would only apply to multinational giants like Facebook and Apple, but not to Irish companies operating in Ireland.
Yeah, right.
But that's not going to stay that way.
No.
It never stays that way. The income tax was supposed to be temporary.
Yeah.
That was just a temporary fix to get us out of the Great Depression. By the way, the Great Depression was only great in America because everybody else did the exact opposite and was out of it in like a year or two.
Yeah, we had to stay in it for a full decade.
We did what we did, and we were in there for a decade. Yeah. Meanwhile, there was a bigger crash 10 years earlier, or actually no, about 10 years earlier. And what Calvin Coolidge did, who is probably one of the best presidents ever.
Didn't he do nothing?
Well, no, he did do something.
Did he?
Yeah, he cut the government spending in half
Oh.
and lowered taxes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
And then we had the Roaring 20s.
yeah.
I rest my case. Anyway,
When governments get smaller and they take less taxes, people have more to spend and are happier. What?
at stake has been Ireland's low official corporate tax rate of 12.5% and a tax system that has helped global companies based there avoid paying taxes to other countries where they make profits. This has put billions of euros into Ireland's tax coffers and created hundreds of thousands of jobs. Like we said, the rest of the countries are jealous. They don't want to lower their taxes and try to be competitive. They want to bring Ireland down.
You mean up?
Well, their tax rate up, but their success down. Ireland is too successful, and we don't want to have to compete with them. We want to make them less successful.
Didn't the Roaring Twenties result in drastic increase in wealth inequality, though?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Wealth inequality is inescapable.
Even if you go to communism, where everybody's supposed to be equal, guess what? They're not. There's the plebes way down below, and then there's the essentially the government people up above, and that's it.
Yeah, you have the party and the party elite.
Yep.
And they live high on the hog.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe some heads of corporations in the Chinese system, because they're like a pseudo-capitalist communist state, so they have corporations that are sort of private, but they're really heavily affiliated with the party. So they'll live high on the hog. But then you have the
Everybody
people
else.
throwing themselves off the buildings at Foxconn.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
No.
Income inequality is, there's going to be people who just don't want to do it, who don't want to make it happen,
Yeah.
Now, that isn't to say that, there aren't evil rich as well,
Yeah.
We're not arguing that. Obviously, we don't like Zuckerberg and Bezos so much,
Not really.
They want to control every aspect of our lives. And you're going to get the business owner who treats their employees like garbage, But all of these things are consensual agreements. Like, you consent to work for them,
When
and
you
you
could-
don't necessarily have to.
Yes.
Now, obviously, we understand that there's situations where, like, I can't lose this job because I'm living paycheck to paycheck. But,
That again is not the owner's fault. That is your responsibility to take care of your fiduciary responsibilities.
and
Now, if you want to change your
like, you can stay and try to change the culture at the workplace and try to increase, there's all kinds of avenues, or you
Yes.
can leave and find another job. There's all kinds of avenues, and there, some might say, okay, well, but there's no other jobs in the city,
Okay.
that I live in. Well, then that means that you have to move. Like, there's just,
So this is anecdotal.
you cannot sit in hell.
Correct. This is anecdotal, but it's from my life experience.
Okay.
I was going to college. I was working McDonald's, Arby's, and Red Lobster, all three, to pay my way through college because my parents couldn't afford it. No any fault to theirs. They weren't rich people. So, so I'm working all three of these jobs, and I'm not happy at any of them. However, I was really good at them.
Mm-hmm.
And within 2 weeks, I went from a cashier to assistant manager at McDonald's in 2 weeks because I could prove that I could, one, show up on time, and two, never shorted my drawer. And I treated the customers well. Red Lobster, I went from being a host, making barely minimum wage, to becoming a server and making a lot more money that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then Arby's, I was making enough at McDonald's and Red Lobster, I was able to drop that one. And it gave me more free time, and I was making more money.
Yeah.
Why? Because I worked hard, and I didn't want to stay making minimum wage. And I knew the only way I could stop making minimum wage was to work hard and do a good job.
Yeah.
And guess what? It works. It still works today. I work hard, and I went from being entry level and worked my way up through the company. Now I'm a manager. What do you know?
That is real life. And it's also real life that, yes, people hit, hit hard times that are outside of their control.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
The answer for that is not government.
No.
The answer for that is not higher taxes.
No.
The answer for that is charity.
Reaching out to your churches, to your family, to your friends.
To organizations that exist to this day, whose goal is to help people.
Yes.
And not just, help them with money or whatever, but to also help them get their life back together. The government doesn't do that. The government just hands you a check. The government forces you to go to rehab, but doesn't actually give a crap whether or not you complete it or
Yep.
It actually changes your life. It does stuff like that. The charitable organizations that aren't run by the Clintons,
You mean the ones
actually
that don't murder people?
yeah, or pretend to send goods to Haiti and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
The legit charitable organizations are filled with people who work there because they care, because they want to see people's lives actually change,
To help them. And not just help them in the now, but help them in the future. There was one point where my company actually went under. I owned my own company. It was a commercial moving company. And guess what? 2008 happened. And
wasn't so much commercial moving anymore.
no, there was no moving. Housing market just absolutely tanked underneath me, and I lost all my clientele. No fault of my own. I did everything I could to keep it afloat, and guess what? Went under. So what did I do? I lost my job. I looked for help, and I immediately started looking for work. And I fell into my current job, window cleaning. And it sustained me, and I've gotten very good at it. And in that, I've been able to do a lot of other things like this.
Yeah. See, Juniper Smoke says, I want to be a manager, but nobody wants to hire me. They want me to start at entry level.
So start at entry level. I did. It will take you.
It takes time.
It takes time. But make a plan for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When I started with the company I'm currently with, I sat down with the owner and said, listen, I want to be in this position in 1 year. I want to be in this position in 2 years. And I want to be at this position in 3 years. And guess what? All three of those positions did not exist when I started. I made them. I created them. And I made the opportunity.
You created value for your company, and they were able to make positions in which you could create further value.
Correct. And I'm still doing it. My end goal is to buy the company.
See, and there's a lot of people who don't want to go that far.
No, they don't.
You know, and I understand that, man.
It's okay.
It is. You're not evil for that.
No, and I don't begrudge them either.
But that's the main driving factor. It's a cultural thing.
Yes.
Culture is the driving factor of income inequality. Income inequality is just a bogus. It's not bogus, but it's hyped it's hyped more than it ever needs to be, because it's just a fact of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we're getting it from people who believe in utopia. Like, in their deepest heart of hearts, they believe that utopia is just around the corner, but it's not.
There is no such thing as utopia. It's great to strive for a better society. It's not okay to ever expect that it's actually going to happen.
You probably do. He says, I feel like I have the making to be a manager or supervisor.
Great.
That's awesome. You probably do. You need to show it to them.
Yeah.
That's the crux of the issue. They need to see it from you.
And tell them. Your best bet to get promoted and get a raise is to tell them, I want a raise. I want a promotion. Let me show you what I can do to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then show them what you can do to get it.
Yeah.
You have to back up your words with your actions.
What was I going to say? Culture.
I don't know.
Culture is driving factor. It's hyped. It's overhyped. When it's just a fact of life, utopia doesn't exist.
If they laugh at you, you're in the wrong place, and you need to get out of there.
Yeah. Then you know this is not the place for you.
Exactly.
Utopia is just around the corner, but it isn't. That's a garbage idea. I feel like I was going to say something else. I hate when this happens.
Of course, Juniper.
Yeah, man, you go get it.
Hey.
Go get that cheddar.
Yeah.
That's like a 90s term, isn't it? That's old. Anyway.
I know what it means.
Yeah.
Wickety, 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 whack.
So back to this global tax rate. Right now, it's each country is agreeing
to at least
to a minimum of 15%. But how long before there's just a global bank?
Wasn't that what we were talking about last night?
It was what we were talking about last night.
Yeah, about a global currency, a global bank.
Mm-hmm. What happens when there's a global bank and now there's just a global tax
of 30%?
Yeah, because it's not going to stay at the minimum's not going to stay at 15.
Start at 15, then 16, then 18, then 20, then 25, then 30, then 50, then we're just going to take it all, and then we'll give you what we think you deserve.
Yeah.
No, that's not cool with me. I want my money in my pocket.
But red lines are a good thing.
Gosh.
What's the meme? In communism, you wait in line for bread. In capitalism, bread waits in line for you.
I love that line. It's so true. Just look at Venezuela, and then look at any of our grocery stores here in the United States.
Oh, I remember what it was. Income inequality is overhyped, right?
Yes.
And here's why.
Why? Tell me what.
Let's look at real income inequality.
Okay. What's
The
real?
poorest person in America,
Yes.
poorest person in America lives 1,000 times better than the poorest person in, say, a third world country, or as they say, a developing country, because third world is
How dare you say third world?
is not PC anymore.
How dare you?
How dare you?
She's always coming on me.
Cram it, Greta. All right, I dared, and I'll keep daring. We live really well here, you know. There are homeless people with cell phones.
Yeah, all the time.
You know, there are groups in Africa who go out with baskets to collect flies, because there's just gigantic swarms of flies, and they collect them in the baskets to eat them.
Because it's their only source of protein.
Yeah. We don't have to do that.
No.
Like, even the poor, crazy homeless person who's eating out of the trash can is probably eating way better than that, because we throw away perfectly good food,
All the time.
you know?
I get angry at
And-
my kids all the time because of it.
Yeah, and they don't have to, you know, go out and collect bugs to eat. Like, we have it really good here. We should be grateful for our blessings and not envious of our neighbors. Because that's what the whole income inequality argument is. They're telling the poor,
Be envious.
which aren't so poor in the context of the whole world, be envious of the rich. And they wear white dresses that say tax the rich at their $30,000 Met Gala.
35,000.
Sorry, yes, you're right. $35,000 a ticket Met
While-
Gala,
while
which
wearing-
she got for free.
While wearing how much did her dress cost?
They didn't. I don't.
$8,000.
Well, that was probably an estimation. They didn't.
It was somewhere
At the
between
time, they
6 to
hadn't
8.
given a number, and I haven't seen it. But yeah,
So
it's this is hypocrisy. This is the elites trying to usher in a system that will destroy you and me.
yeah,
That will, I mean,
If you
on
wanna
every front, they're trying to control us, and weaken us, and impoverish us. We can't let them do it.
I think the biggest example and the best example I've ever seen of income inequality, or not income inequality, just what an economy can do is the car industry.
Hmm.
How many cars come out of Russia?
I don't know of any. I'm sure that they have like one or two car companies or something.
There's one.
There's one.
And guess what? They make garbage cars.
Hmm.
Nobody buys them except for Russians, because that's the only one they can buy.
Because they can't afford it.
They can't afford
And
everything
they're,
else.
and yes, communism fell in Russia, but it wasn't replaced with a free market capitalist system.
No.
It was replaced with an oligarchy.
A socialist oligarchy.
Yeah. Now, granted, America has some big problems with free market capitalism
Yes.
in that, in many ways, it's not practicing free market capitalism.
No.
But we're more capitalist than most.
Yes.
Anyway, continue. The car industry.
Car industry. So, United States has a car industry, and it's banging. It's putting out cars. Granted, not all the best, but still some very high quality cars, right?
Yes. But who
Um,
buys them?
Everybody else?
No. Only Americans.
No, everybody else does.
We don't sell cars overseas.
Oh, yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
You ever heard of Ford?
Yeah, I've heard of Ford.
Yeah. Half
You
the
don't-
market is overseas.
No.
Yes.
There's no way.
Europe?
This was part of Trump's whole deal, was that other countries tariff us like out the wazoo, and so
Yep.
our products aren't sold there.
Oh, they are. They're just sold under other names. Like the Ford actually has a plant
Okay,
in
so
Australia.
like Chevrolet has Fiat.
Yes.
Okay.
Daimler
So that's
Chrysler
kind of different because Fiat was an Italian car company, right?
is.
Yeah, but then Chevrolet bought it.
Yes.
Chevrolet cars don't get sold overseas. Chevrolet cars get sold
Not
here.
as much.
But Chevrolet owns multiple brands, and they make up for it in that way.
Yes,
So
but
it's-
GM actually sells overseas quite a bit because they have plants overseas. What my point is,
Yeah.
is the countries that innovate and make great products, England, Germany, United States, they make great cars because they innovate. They have
Japan.
to innovate.
Japan.
Even Korea makes decent cars. I won't say great cars, but the decent cars. How many cars come out of China?
I know of none.
I know of a few, but they're really, really awful. Russia,
that sort of surprises.
India. I mean, there's
Yeah.
Africa, the entire continent. How many come out of Australia?
It's freaking unfortunate. Africa should not be in the state that it is in.
No. With the resources that Africa has, it should not be in the financial state that it's in. However, it's not capitalist.
Mm-mm.
It's mostly socialist, if not.
It's either war. It's some form of dictatorship.
Yes, usually dictatorship, or some sort of socialism, or even communism. But anyways, my point is this: capitalism forces you to innovate and get better and make better.
Mm-hmm. Taxation stifles that
heavily.
And then putting a minimum across the entire world, 140 countries,
does not help.
Is not going to provide for innovation.
No.
It's not going to provide for jobs.
No.
This is going to hurt all 140 countries. Well, not the people who run the countries.
No.
They'll be fine because they're getting 15% of tax revenues.
Because
this is the way.
No, it's not the way.
Yeah. They'll be fine. It's you and me, the common folk, the lessers, the poors, as Tim Pool will say. We're the ones who are going to face the brunt of that.
Yeah.
It's
unfortunate, but it is true.
It's ridiculous.
Well, everybody, I think this is about it.
Yep. You've been watching Plausible Foolishness, home of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, the taxes are voluntary, and we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/plausiblepoolishness, YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe there. Facebook.
Please share. Please share.
Yes. And anywhere you can get a podcast. If you like to listen to podcasts, we put the audio up. And please, write a review. Leave a review. That really, really helps us on the podcast platform.
Yes, it does.
And the shares and subscribes and all that stuff help us spread the word and build the audience. And we're also on Rumble, Instagram, minds.com.
YouTube.
Yeah, we mentioned YouTube.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah. That's where the like, share, and subscribe.
And if you can, avoid Facebook, but we're on there too.
I mean, I would avoid them all, but they're the place to get seen. So, anyway.
So good night, everybody.
Peace out.
Someday I would buy galleys with good ornament, sails to distant shores. Stand up high in the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course for the havens. Too many foemen, too many foemen, too many foemen.
Tens of thousands on my right, thousands by my side. War between good and evil, watching our fists collide. Battle for our freedom now, to the streets we ride. Flags waving all around, pages full of pride. This is where we make a stand, no more give or take. got you down, it's going down.
My mama told me, yeah, she warned me that this day would come. I'm like my father, go to combat with the blazing guns. I survived that, then I came back to the place I'm from to face off all these haters and the battle in the place I love. You can't break me down, I'm indivisible. You still see my raps if I was invisible. But I'm standing tall, and I spit the truth. So you all appalled, cause you know it's true. They call it freedom cause the fallen troops pay for this. I love this country, doesn't matter how much hate I get. I take my colors in the battle, ain't no wavering. Cause this is for my warriors who marching to the cadences. This is for the sisters working hard on the ship. This is for the brothers getting y'all doctorate. Father, yeah, taking y'all on the ship. Baby, tell me why it's hard for the patriot.